We're live in Memorex again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to do at this point is we're going to do a little plucking underneath the brow. I did some plucking to prepare, but I left a couple in here to show you how to do proper brow plucking. So in order to do a brow, we're going to get a decent tweezer. These are $25. These are called Tweezerman. And then I'm going to take a little bit of alcohol. This is isopropyl alcohol. And I'm going to dip my Tweezerman in the isopropyl alcohol and then shake it so the drops come off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab the brow hair one at a time in the direction that it normally grows. You see how the brows grow this way? So I'm going to pull it with the grain. If I pull it this way, or 2 or 3 at a time, ouch! But if I just grab one in here and pull, it's done. And you can see I did some cleanup underneath here. So you'll frequently need to do some cleanup work on brows, or they'll come in perfectly groomed, but sometimes you always want to have the last say in it. There's a great little tip I can tell you. We could take some white pencil and put it underneath here over the hairs we want to remove, and if we do that, then we would only pluck the things which are colored white, so we don't overpluck by accident. So there's a good tip for you. This is Mac Lingering, which you know is one of my favorite brow pencils. It's a mechanical pencil that just rolls up like this. And the proper brow should start here and here, arch to the center of the pupil. So now we draw with lingering. Turn your head this way. I'm using a series of short strokes. We're just trying to teach technique here. So short strokes to just fill her own brow line. And then we want to have it come to the right length, so we're going to have to lengthen it to about there. So I'm just going to take the lingering, and this is where having a nice fine tip is great, because you can just draw that extension just like that to a fine point. And then I'm just going to continue to darken the brow, strengthening the brows overall. Now as you can see, the brow hairs have a couple of outliers on top, so if I wanted to be picky, I could pull some of those. And this is where again that white pencil trick is so good, because if you're nervous about going on top of the brow, which you should be, just cover it in white first. And I don't need to do that because I've been doing this long enough to not make those boo-boos anymore. You don't want to get punched in the mouth by one of your models. And she would so have the right to do that if you overplucked her. So make sure that you're good to your model by cleaning up the brow using proper hygienic technique and painless technique. Let's see what we're doing here. Looks good. Now it looks a little bit drawn, and indeed it is. So now I take a Q-tip and I try to clean that up a little bit. You can also take a makeup brush and you can also just sweep the makeup brush through it to kind of blend the color so that it fills the gaps between the brow hairs. Now we should have an almost perfect brow, and we're going for a little volume. Remember, this is a headshot. I don't want it to be like pointy like some 1950s pinup look, which we could do another time. But this is contemporary, so there's volume to the brow. You want to keep a fair amount of volume on the brows. And that should be good. There's a little bit of cleanup underneath here that I could do as well. And you know, if you're watching this video, how interesting is that to watch? So I'm just going to keep that short, and perhaps we'll do some editing for it. But that now we have the brows, the foundation, and the concealer done for the no makeup look, and we have nice even skin tone. The last thing I said I do in this portion of the video is to do a little bit of under eye work. And here we come back to the Dermablend palette. I'm going to start with a brightener, but this time I'm going to go to a D2, mix it with a little bit of D1. And I'm just going to take the brightener and just run it right under the line here. And I'm not getting everything just perfect because it's a video, and how interesting is it to watch someone do this for 5 minutes. But if I just do it really quick, you'll get a sense of how I work and how you want to work as well. And you can see her eyes, you can get a little jumpy, you got to be careful. You can see you can work at speed under the eye, but the faster you work under the eye, the more the model will be apprehensive, because they go into self-preservation. So working really slowly and carefully under the eye. And then we have the concealer done. And now I'm just going to take this and do a little, what's called feathering the edges of the concealer. And I'm going to drop a little bit of brightener right onto here. And then a little in a darker, in her own kind of skin tone, just over the brightener. So remember, when concealing, what we've done, we've used a brightener with a natural flesh tone over top of it, and that's the way we want to do it. And finally, we just finish that work by taking a brush and just closes her eyes. If she didn't, then you would have asked her to. And then we just give a nice set with that nice theatrical smell of Ben Nye. Don't you just feel like you're backstage?
Oh, yes.
All right. So the next part of our video, we're going to do a little bit of eyeliner and blush and lips. Thanks.